Hello class, today we're going to be doing a math lesson from our Bridges curriculum. We're going to be using Tad the Frog to hop along a number line counting by tens. And what you'll need for this lesson is a listening ear, an active math brain, and someone to share your ideas with. Before I get started with the lesson, I'm going to be sharing a screen with my learning objectives, and then I'm going to teach the lesson. So follow along and enjoy and do some hard math. In this lesson, we have a couple learning goals. So here are the learning goals for today. Today we will be able to represent addition and subtraction on a number line. We've been learning that when you go forward on a number line, you're adding, and when you go backwards on a number line, you are subtracting. You're also going to be able to recognize and extend number patterns. You're going to read your numerals, your numbers to 120. You're going to count by tens to 100, so starting at 0, you will be able to count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on all the way to 100. You're also going to be able to order your numbers to 120. And the last goal we have is demonstrate an understanding that multiples of 10 from 10 to 90 refer to some numbers of 10 and zeros. So what that means is when we look at a number, let's say 70, here's 70. We see that there's a ones place and a tens place. And when we're counting by 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, all of those numbers have 0 in the ones place. So when we look at a number, we know that there's always going to be 0 in the ones place when we're counting by 10. Let's move on. All right, get your math brains on. We're going to warm up. So to warm up today, we're going to count by tens forward and backwards, starting at 0. Ready, set, count. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All right, let's do it backwards, starting at 100. Ready, count with me, set, count. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. Next warm up. This time, let's count by tens forward, but this time we're going to start at 40 and end at 70. So here's 40, ready, set, count. 40, 50, 60, 70, and I'm stopping because my directions were to stop at 70. Another warm up. Let's count by tens forward. Let's start at 80 and end at 100. So here's 80, count with me, ready, set, count. 80, 90, 100. Let's count by tens backwards. Let's start at 60 and end at 30. Ready, set, count. 60, 50, 40, 30. And I stop. Last warm up. Let's count by tens backwards. Let's start at 30 and end at 10. Ready, set, count. 30, 20, 10. On this screen, we see a bunch of lily pads. In a moment, you're going to help me put these lily pad cards in order on the number line, starting at 0. But I want you to take a look at these lily pads and tell me what you notice about them. So you're putting on your math thinking brain, looking at the numbers, and thinking, what do you notice? Once you have your idea, pause the video and share it with someone. Here's what I'm noticing. I'm noticing that all these lily pads have a number and there's a 0 in the ones place. So each of these lily pads has a 0 in the ones place. That tells me that I might be counting by tens. Let's find out. I'm going to start with 0 and I'm going to put the next number on the number line, which for me would be 10. 0 to 10. How many did we skip? Well, I'm thinking we skipped 10. 0, 10. Do we have a 20? Oh, here's the 20. Do we have a 30? Here it is, 30. What comes next? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I sure noticed that we were counting by tens. I hope that you did. Let's try it. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I know you know Tad. We worked with Tad in class. Tad is our frog that helps us jump along the number line. But Tad has a little sister, and this little sister's name is Polly. Polly is also going to be helping us jump along the number line today. And we know our froggies can jump forward to add, and they can jump backwards to subtract. So let's see what Tad and Polly need us to do to help them. The frogs and the fly can land only on the lily pads, and the distance they have to jump or fly to get from one pad to the next is 10 inches. So each hop is 10 inches. And there's a fly, there's Polly, and there's Tad. So what do you observe? So take a couple seconds to look at this number line, to look at Tad and Polly, and to look at the fly, and think about what do you notice. When you have a thought, pause the video and share it with someone. I'm going to tell you what I notice. I'm noticing that I'm starting at 0 and I'm going all the way to 100. I'm also knowing that I'm counting by tens, and I see that the fly is at 50, which I know is halfway. So 0 to 50 is halfway to 100. I'm also noticing that Tad is at 20 and Polly is at 80. Did you notice anything else? Let's move on. Which frog needs to jump backwards down the line towards 0 to get the fly? So take a moment to look and try and think about which frog has to subtract to get the fly. Which frog has to go in this direction to get the fly? I'm noticing that Polly is past the fly, so she has to jump backwards to get the fly. And how many jumps will it take for each frog to get the fly? You can pause the video and use your fingers on the screen to jump, or you can use your eyeballs to make the jumps. I'll make the jumps on the screen. So here's Tad. Tad needs to make 1, 2, 3 jumps to get the fly. So he has to go 10, 20, 30 to get to the fly. And Polly, let's see how many jumps she needs. 1, 2, 3. Polly also needs 3 jumps. So 10, 20, 30 inches to get the fly. So Tad and Polly both need to go 30 inches, 3 jumps to get the fly. All right, so here's a challenge. If the frogs jump at the same time, which one will get to the fly first? So right now I want you to take a look at the screen, and you can either use your fingers to hop, or you can use your eyeballs and make a thought about which frog will get to that fly first if they're jumping at the same time. Well, let's try it. I can't jump them at the same time, but I can jump them one at a time. Tad makes his jump, Polly takes a jump. Tad makes a jump, Polly takes a jump. And then Tad makes a jump, Polly makes a jump. So they got there at the same time. Notice how they're in different spots now, different lily pads. And we're still going from 0 to 100. How many jumps does Tad need to make to land on the same lily pad as Polly? So Tad is at 0 and Polly is at 20. So use your eyeballs or use your finger to figure out how many jumps Tad needs to make to land on the same lily pad as Polly. Let's try. 1, 2. 2 jumps. How far is Tad from Polly if every jump was 10 inches? Well, he was at 0, so 10 inches, 20 inches, 10 inches, 20 inches. Tad was 20 inches away from Polly. Let's move on. Which of the frogs is closest to the fly, and how do you know? So here's Tad at 0, Polly's at 20, and the fly is all the way over here at 100. So which of these two is closest to the fly? Who's going to eat that fly first? So pause the video and share with someone how you know that that frog is closer to the fly. Here's an example for what you could have answered. Polly is at 20, and 20 is closer to 100, so Polly is closer. Or you could say, well, it takes Polly less jumps to go to 100. Or you could say, Polly is farther on the number line. Tad is going to make 8 jumps. Which lily pad will he land on? So here's Tad. Tad's at 0, and he's going to make 8 jumps. Pause the video and jump with your fingers or jump with your eyeballs. And when you've got your answer, share it with someone. I'm going to jump Tad 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's Tad now? Tad is at 80. 8 jumps, 80. Polly is going to make 5 jumps. Which lily pad will she land on? Now, Polly's not starting at 0, so this one might be a little more tricky. So take a look. If you would like to pause the video and jump with your fingers or your eyeballs, do so. I'm going to jump Polly 5 times, starting at 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I landed at 70. All right, we have new lily pads, and our frogs are in different spots, and our fly is still over here at 100. So which frog is closer to the fly? So take a look. Is it Tad who's closer? Is it Polly who's closer? So how many times does Tad have to jump, and how many times does Polly have to jump to get to that fly? Well, let's check. So Tad has to go 1, 2 jumps to get to the fly, and Polly has to go 1, 2, 3 jumps to get to the fly. So how many inches away from the fly is each frog? Well, if we remember, Tad had to jump 2 times, so 2 jumps is 20 inches. And Polly had to jump 3 times. 3 jumps is 30 inches. So Tad was at 20 inches away from the fly, and Polly was 30 inches away from the fly. Thank you for joining Tad and Polly as they hopped along the number line. Look out for more lessons just like this, and I will also be posting a video of a number line game later this week. So thank you for participating. See you later. Bye!